Hi everyone, welcome back to The Traveling Man. Today we're going to be going around the Dayton area and checking out all of the Wright brothers history that the city has to offer. Right now, I'm in the very historic Carillon Park and we're going to see what they have to offer. This place looks awesome. I've been by it a bunch of times but never really stopped to check it out. Look at all the amazing flowers they have here, and look at these. Wow.
Yeah, I used to call them snowballs.
I am absolutely loving this 40s music here. If I don't get a copyright strike, I'm gonna let you take a listen. If you want to learn more about the history of Carillon Park, leave a comment down below and give the video a thumbs up, and I'll make a video in the future going over all the history of this amazing historical landmark. And don't forget to click that subscribe button with notifications turned on, because I will be making a part 2 where we get to take a look at the original Wright Flyer. And this example retains most of its original parts, unlike some of the other models you'll find in museums that don't. This is one of those places where I was like, wow, I knew the park existed, but I didn't know any of this stuff was inside, and it's absolutely amazing. When I talked to the ticket lady, she said most people make that exact same comment.
Big.
What?
This hat is 3 sizes too big and probably looks ridiculous.
Well, we'll have to let the viewers determine that. Leave a comment down below. Do you think the hat looks ridiculous? What?
And try not to pee your pants.
Too late. That is not a real lady.
Is too.
No, it's not.
It is
It's
too.
animatronic.
She tilted her head. She's trying not to smile.
It's not a real lady.
Get out of here.
Nope. That's a robot.
The idea of building a Carillon for Dayton came to me several years ago when my husband, Edward, and I were traveling in Europe. Incidentally, I do love to travel, whether by railroad coach, automobile, sailing ship, or airplane. In fact, it may surprise you to learn that I was the first woman to fly from Dayton to Columbus. We made that trip in my husband's Ford tri-motor airplane, which I christened Kingbird. I was that aircraft's first passenger. Well, at any rate, while we were in Bruges, Belgium a few years ago, I was particularly moved by the beautiful bell music I heard on a carillon there. I decided soon thereafter that Dayton should have a carillon tower. It is my hope that the music of Deed's Carillon and the new educational exhibits of Carillon Park will enrich the lives of Daytonians as well as visitors to the great city of Dayton from all corners of the globe. This park was created for the enjoyment and education of the people of Dayton and those who visit our city. While my primary motivation for Carillon Park was to share the joy of music in a special and memorable way, it was my husband's intention to preserve here some of those things which are symbolic of the fine traditions not only of the Miami Valley, but of the nation as a whole. It's a modest effort to provide a link between a glorious past and a future of unlimited opportunity. Edward and I hope that people of all ages will enjoy the facilities of Carillon Park, but our feeling is that there will be none to whom it will have greater meaning than the boys and girls in our schools. If in the formative years of their lives, it helps to impart a knowledge of and a respect for the achievements of those who built this country, it will have achieved its purpose. As you visit the park's historical exhibits today, you'll learn how Dayton, Ohio has helped to shape the world. You'll see the 1905 airplane that my friend Orville Wright considered the most important flying machine that he and his brother Wilbur ever built. You'll walk across a covered bridge and have the opportunity to inspect a canal lock in an original segment of the Miami and Erie Canal. You'll see a giant coreless steam engine, an ancient locomotive, a Conestoga wagon, an early Cadillac motor car, a working grist mill water wheel, and so much more. You know, I've been fortunate to visit literally dozens of cities around the globe, and I can tell you that there's no place like Dayton. Our innovative city boasts over 1,000 factories, both large and small. We've invented the cash register, automobile self-starter, and of course, the airplane. I trust you'll gain an appreciation for this wonderful city during your time here. Enjoy your visit.
Wow, this is really, really cool. I have never seen so many cash registers in my entire life. OMG. Wow, these are fancy. I knew cash registers could be fancy, but not this fancy. Like, wow. I mean, I've seen the odd, the cash registers with the little number keys like that where you strike them almost like a typewriter, but they've never looked this fancy.
Look at that.
I know, look at like this one, this national one, number 30, and also there's a wooden one next to it. And then you have amazing cash registers like this one that are round. It is a model 111 cash register from 1893. So over here you can see they have the Build for Tomorrow Theater. That looks cool. And look at all of this stuff. Pop culture items. Oh, I love it. We got, let's see, there's the Flintstones. Let me switch to the other camera for better quality. All right, so we've got the Flintstones. There's Fred and Dino, the dinosaur. And then we have Woody the Woodpecker.
Woody Woodpecker.
Or Woody Woodpecker. And I'm not sure.
The Keebler guy.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure who that is. That bear. It looks familiar.
It's the sugar bear.
Yeah.
From...
And then there is the Keebler elf guy. Those are cool.
There is nothing you cannot accomplish.
I never could get a word in edgewise with that man. To build the park that you're enjoying today. Scipio, do you remember my old buddy Harry Price?
All right, let's get back to work, boys. Cadillac wants 5,000 of our new ignition systems for their 1910 model, and we're not going to disappoint them. He has me developing the OK credit phone and multi-department cash registers. Now he asks me, hey, if we can replace the crank on a cash register with an electrical motor, why can't we remove the crank from an automobile and replace it with an electric self-starter? What do you think, fellas? Can we figure it all out by 1912?
I guess they're all believers now.
I think that old cow pasture is where we really taught ourselves to fly.
Check out.
Wow. That is a huge NCR sign, and I'm sure if that was up on a building, you'd be like, it's not that big, but you get it down here, and it is huge. Wow, look at they got all the registers. You can see these are all of the national registers throughout the years. This is a Class 2000 payroll machine. That is huge. So you can see this is the modern self-checkout you can see from NCR. That sign is massive up there. Wow. And then they have their very first computer that they designed back in the 80s. This is the Decision Mate 5 computer circa 1983. Next to that is the ATM. You can see the insides of it, which I've never seen before. Pretty awesome. But this is the 5085 automated teller machine. There's the history.
Supermarket checkout system.
Wait, this is a what?
1974 supermarket checkout system. Right there.
Oh,
You've seen those.
that's pretty cool. And it says the NCR logo, the old NCR logo on it. Yeah, just look at all the machines from NCR that they had. The thermal printing and liquid crystal displays that they had worked on. It talks about that. We've got, this is a post-tronic electronic bank posting machine is what that is.
There is a card random access memory, which is CRAM.
Yes, this is a CRAM system. Right there, you can see all the insides. So this is the CRAM system, or CRAM, and prior to this system, they used magnetic tape in the data storage industry for computers. And data storage on tape, you would have to seek the tape back and forth to the specific section where you wanted to read the data. And that meant that, it took time and you couldn't just instantly go from one spot to another. The CRAM, or random access memory, that they developed here allowed you to just literally skip instantly to the spot you wanted to read on the data. So if there was a specific file you wanted, you could just jump right to it and not have to wait. And it held 88 megabytes. But all of our hard drives, flash memory, all of that stuff is random access memory. You click on the file or you type in what you want and it just goes to it. You don't have to sit there and wait.
It paved the way for things we take for granted today, such as credit cards or using ATM to access our bank account.
Right, right, because all of our storage devices today are random access memory, and without that, we couldn't do it. We wouldn't have all of our phones or any of this stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah. And here we have an old NCR logo. That's pretty cool. From Retail History. Love Retail History. You guys know that I have a channel dedicated to retail history and urban exploration, so that's pretty cool. Oh man, you guys, I didn't even know this place existed. How did I not know that this place existed? I mean, I knew about the park, but I didn't know it had all this cool stuff in it. This place is a lot bigger than I expected. I don't know that I'm going to be able to, let's see, it is 3:25 right now. I don't know that I'm going to make it through the whole thing, but we're going to try. If not, I'll come back and make another video on this place. So if you want to see a follow-up to this video, then definitely give the video a thumbs up. Just walked right through a can of pop that's been popped open using the pop top. Wow, look at all the bikes on the ceiling here. That is cool. And then we've got, I guess this is an early motorcycle. Yeah, this is a motorcycle from 1914. Look what we have here, another piece of amazing technology. I love old technology, retro technology. This is LexisNexis, the company. And this is their Ubique terminal, circa 1978 to 1985.
We have a Nexus or a LexisNexis.
Yes, there is a LexisNexis. No, there is a LexisNexis not too far down the street. It's in when you're going towards Springboro.
Isn't there one in Cincinnati?
There might be, but there's one right off of 75.
I'm sure there is.
So they're still a thing.
Yeah.
Wow, look at all the magazines here and this really old style printing press. This is the McCall Corporation printing and magazines. And this is a printing press from 1915. This is a Dayton computing scale, and it is so fancy. I love it. I'm trying to get things to where they don't have so much glare on them, but it's really difficult.
It's 1941.
But you can see this is the barrel computing scale, circa 1891 to 1911. Look at how fancy that is. Wow. They just don't make things like this anymore. So this, now we're getting into planes and some of the engines, and the Wright brothers are going to be, in this section. Here we're taking a look at an early Cadillac. Look at that. They don't make cars like that anymore. That is amazing. I love the blue color. You can actually take a ride in some of these old historic cars if you take a trip up to Dearborn, Michigan in the Detroit area to visit Greenville Village, which I'm planning to make a video on that place, hopefully sometime this year before, winter time. So this was one of the first cars with a self-starter motor in it where you didn't have to crank it. Traditionally they would have the crank on the front of the engine to get it started. I have always wanted one of these S10s. Well, not specifically this one, but, a modern version of it. But Chevy doesn't really make a small truck anymore like this. Really, no one does. And it's very sad.
And who doesn't use Delco on their car?
Yeah, Delco brake parts.
Oh, crap, yeah. Your dad did.
So the popular Freon that was used to refrigerate stuff or refrigerate stuff was invented here in Dayton, and I love that stove. I would love to have one of those in my house like that. That is so great. Just look at all the dials and the buttons. Wow. This is Charles F. Kettering, the invention of the hayloft. And we can take a listen to what he has to say.
Hello there. The gang and I worked pretty hard in those early years to get our Delco enterprise up and going. The men we pulled together from NCR called me boss. But I'll tell you, the only rank in that group was when one of us was ranker than the next. It reminded me of the hot, sweaty work my siblings and I grew up with on our farm outside Loudonville, Ohio, between Columbus and Cleveland. I learned a lot growing up. Studying farm equipment, repairing my mother's sewing machine, even dissecting a brand new telephone I purchased with $14 I raised cutting a neighbor's wheat field. Not far from the farm, I learned elementary engineering from the close observation of a grist mill and a new coreless steam engine. I discovered that you can know a lot and not really understand anything. But from those men in the mills, I learned how to understand things. I'd say my education was a combination of academic basics and practical mechanics. I started teaching school at age 19, and then went on to Worcester College and the Ohio State Engineering College. During those years, I was having flare-ups of an eye ailment and headaches, so I would take time off from school to rest. During those breaks and to earn some money, I took a job as a pole setter with the Star Telephone Company. In those days, I learned a lot about electricity, telephones, and working with a crew of men. I learned a lot in my first 28 years.
Here you can see all of the toys that were manufactured here in Dayton, and we're going to go take a closer look at a few of them. Look at all the tin and wooden toys. I think most of these are tin. Wow. This thing caught my eye. This is the Whirlpool game. Thank you so much for coming along and checking out the museum portion of Carillon Park here in Dayton, Ohio. And while you're at it, why not check out my Etsy shop? It has all kinds of cool merchandise that helps to support this channel and keep it running. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next episode of The Traveling Man.